Did you know that not all conflict is bad? It's true. Sometimes conflict can actually bring about change in people's lives and therefore can't be considered always bad, right? So just think about it in your own life. When you think about conflict, you think about, relationships, and you think about negative emotion, and you think about fighting, and you think about all these negative things, right? But what people don't recognize is that through conflict, a lot of times we can learn how to mold to each other. We can learn how to mold into our environment. We learn how to adjust to our circumstances. And therefore, that form of conflict isn't bad. Obviously, a lot of the major type of conflict where people are fighting like crazy and calling each other really bad names and things like that, or the type of conflict that you might have at work or whatever, that kind of conflict you could look at and just be like, okay, I feel really negative about it, so it must be pretty bad. But then when you look at, okay, did something change from that conflict? Did somebody decide to do something different? Did you decide to do something different? Did you learn through that conflict with a friend that all of a sudden, oh, I can't say those kinds of things to that friend? And then that way, kind of where the boundaries are, right? Being able to understand where the boundaries are for people is one of the better ways to understand how conflict can end up being actually a good thing for people. So, anyways, I just want you to understand that, not all conflict is bad. I want you to think of conflict sometimes as just a way to be able to mold and to adjust to new circumstances and new situations, and just being able to improve yourself a lot of times. If you think about it too, when it comes to conflict, what is exercise? It's stress. You're putting stress on your body. And when you put stress on your body has to adjust to that stress so that it can improve. Stressors in our lives a lot of times can bring about really positive changes. And so that's something that I think is forgotten a lot, especially when it comes to, you know, conflict when it comes to relationships. So stressors in relationships sometimes, it can break relationships, but it can also improve them depending on how you view the conflict. And so if you view it in terms of change, it can be a really good thing. If you view it in terms of, oh, I'm just being rejected, or the other person is just not willing to accept me for who I am or whatever, and it's a very negative mindset about the conflict. And I know that kind of sounds crazy, but then that ends up making the conflict negative. But not all conflict is bad. So think about it.